It's not every day you start the adventure of a lifetime. Stream. I did not plan on doing this tonight. I had 2 failed attempts because all of my settings had been changed. Suppose I can pop in here. And it's been kind of a pain to get them all set back right again. So, I am here. I believe everything is working. And yeah, so just going to do episode 24. So the reason I have been missing is a couple weeks there where I ended the stream the last time. I had a couple of really busy Fridays, and then just a ton of stuff came up, and to be honest, I kept forgetting to do the stream. So I know we got a bunch of paddlers hitting the river, and we've had a couple of speed record teams go down the river trying to paddle the entire river and break the record for the fastest time ever going down. And the record has been broken. One team made it. The other team was so close, and then their boat capsized, and it was unrecoverable. They were dealing with just intense winds, and so unfortunately they made it almost to the very end, and then they had their boat go under. So everybody was safe. Everybody is fine, but a real bummer to see it get that far and then have that be the outcome. But nonetheless, it was a real thrill to watch the 2 teams go down. And so congratulations to the team that made it and broke the record, and man, good job to the other guys for getting so close. And they would have had it too had that not happened. But anyway, so I just want to go through episode 24, and yeah, I think we could probably go through 24 and then go through the portage videos as well, if that will work for everybody. I guess I don't know if anybody will even come in here, since this was an unannounced stream and I've kind of dropped off the face of the earth when it comes to YouTube. So anyway, let's just jump into 24 here, and let's wrap this trip up. If I remember right, we have 13 miles till the Gulf. 13 miles remaining on a 62-day adventure. It's the final day, and I'm up at dawn, ready to finish the trip. With only about 30 miles to go, I can't wait to get started. There's just one problem. Yeah, so throughout the entire series, I had no clue how many miles were left after 0. So mile 0 goes down to the head of the 3 passes, and I can actually show you that off of this. Eventually. There you go. Crap. So, well, I guess it's not a great picture. Anyway, the head of passes, so there's a southwest pass, there's a south pass, there's the southeast pass, which isn't used. I took the south pass. Many paddlers that go through New Orleans do. And this area here is known as the head of passes. This is mile 0 right here. So it's mile 0 and then 13 more miles down to the ocean, down to the Gulf of Mexico. So that is how many miles are actually there. That is my both Google tracked and GPS tracked distance. So just something that we finally know the answer to that. So I wake up really early this morning. I was super excited to get the trip finished, and it poured rain all night, just stormed, and the lightning and the thunder, it was just ridiculous. Not what you want to see when you want to hit the river kayaking. And I had planned to hit the river as soon as the sun came up. I wanted to get down there. I wanted to enjoy some time on the Gulf, and unfortunately, it just would not stop storming on me. So very unfortunate, but it finally did break. The guy who was actually going to pick me up from the Gulf, his name is Bubby, he actually took that day off to come down and get me. And so the last thing I wanted was for him to take a day off of work, and then I couldn't even go down the river and finish. So
there's a break behind me, some clear skies. So we're going to get going as fast as we can here and try to get in as much distance as we can while it's clearing. So the boat is incredibly light. I can tell the difference immediately. Almost all the stuff is out of the boat.
Yeah, so I totally could have left the boat full of everything and just went down, but since I was going to come back to Bubby's house after anyway, I just pretty much took everything out. There was almost no food in there. There was the drone. There was like I said, the tent and stuff, and I only brought that in case I got hit by bad weather and I needed to, seek shelters. So that's why I had the tent with me. But it was crazy how different the boat felt after all them days of having it completely fully loaded, super stable in the water. Having it almost empty completely changed how the boat felt in the water underneath me, and how it handled, how tippy it was. It's crazy the difference it made.
Equipment, the drone is in here, a single battery, I do have the tent with me, and just some jugs of water.
What up, cuz? Good to see you.
Super lightweight. Yeah. Following this weather.
Alright, so that little delay there, actually what that was is I had some two-sided bottles I brought with me, and I had 12 of them, and what they were is I could actually grab one, but they were salt pepper shakers from GSI, and they're waterproof and they're made for camping. But I took these 12 bottles, I called them my most precious cargo. It was something I was going to give back to my family, and so one side had water from the very beginning of the river right at the rock dam from Lake Itasca, and then it's divided in the middle, and then the other side I wanted to fill up with water from the Gulf of Mexico. And so you could essentially hold both the source and the sea of the Mississippi River right in your hand. And I carried those all the way down with me. I protected them. I kept them safe. Every time I went to a hotel, they were with me. They were never out of my reach. And that's what that pause or that delay was, is I wanted to make sure that I actually had them with me. So I actually pulled the boat over and got out and checked to make sure I had them. I was that concerned that I would have forgotten them. And I did have them. So
their system out. Those blue skies behind me. I'm hoping that they continue to track south. I'm kind of committed now to heading down. So if the weather rolls back in, I'm gonna have to deal with it, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. There's only one way to finish, and that's to get there. So it's raining pretty good ahead. I can't even see the river down there a ways. So, but yeah, hopefully traffic is light, and as light as my boat, and that'd be great.
Yeah, I literally followed the storm out. It's pouring rain right there. That's actually, you can't even see the river down there. I mean, there was lightning off in the distance. I don't know that it was necessarily the safest time to go, but I was so concerned that more storms were going to roll in, and I had to get down there and finish. This was the day I had to get done. So yeah, I was a little leery because I didn't know if I was actually keeping pace with the storm or if it was just sitting there. A lot of these storms kind of pop up and then they just sit, but man, it rained so hard this morning.
And then yeah, we'll just get this thing wrapped up today.
Hey Torque, how you doing, bro? I'll see you tomorrow. So it's kind of a neat thing here. I put this in here. This was on my mind as I came by here. So Venice, Louisiana is the furthest you can drive down the Mississippi River, and then it ends. And so I'm pretty sure that's at like mile 9 or something. I used to know. I think it's somewhere around there. But so you essentially you have 20 miles of river to go, and there's no more roads going down there. Everything is on a boat or in the air in a helicopter or a plane. So it's a little kind of a surreal moment to think that once you leave this spot, nobody can drive down and pick you up. Now you have to rely on water vessels. So just kind of a neat thing.
I am passing mile marker 9 as we speak. We are under the double-digit numbers. So we got 9 to mile 0, 13 or whatever it is to the Gulf. I don't know. One day we'll know the right answer. We'll find out. But mile marker 9. You can't see it with the GoPro, but there it is. I did take a picture of it.
It's big river down there. There was tons of fishing boats coming by. I don't really know if people actually knew what I was doing, but people would like blow the horns on the boats and they were waving, and it was kind of cool just to have interaction with people. I'd been pretty much alone for so long, and the river, there was river traffic, but there was nobody really paid attention to me, and so to have people kind of like excited that I was in the area was kind of neat. It was a nice little change, but yeah, big river, and then I started getting that Gulf breeze coming up, and it started kicking up the waves. They weren't bad here. I think they, 10-mile-an-hour wind maybe towards the end. But it's really fun. You just start getting these mile markers, and they just start counting down, and you hit the single digits. It gets exciting. You count them down as you go, and man, it's a cool time to be there. Yeah, you can see here how much more choppy it started to get. So Pilot Town is actually, when the ocean liners come into the river, for anybody obviously who doesn't know, they have pilots that are here in the States, and that's what they're called, and they're basically a temporary captain, if you will. They'll board the ships as they're moving. They just fly up next to them on these boats here, and they'll actually board the moving ship, and then they are responsible for navigating the river. They are the experts of that area of the river. They'll do sections, and they'll tell whoever's piloting the craft where to go and how to go there. And they have a lot of authority on the river, and I always thought they were pretty respectful. Anytime I talked to the captains on the radios, they were always super respectful. But yeah, Pilot Town, the only way to get here is to fly in, or I don't even know if you can fly in, to be honest, but come in on watercraft. That's Pilot Town.
That's the head of the 3 passes. A big area. I'm looking forward to being past it. We're at the head of the passes. We're trying to make our way to the South Pass.
Yeah, I didn't film much coming through here. There was kind of a lot going on. There was some barges on the South Pass. I don't know what they were doing. I assume they were part of the dredging operation, and they had the Southeast Pass all blocked up by their dredge hose here, their dredge line. But I didn't film much here. I just wanted to get through this big area because I knew that once I was through here, all I had to do was get on the South Pass, which is just your own little channel. It's so nice.
This is mile 0. Southwest Pass.
So Southwest Pass is where all the ocean liners and ocean-going vessels go. That is the deep channel. That is the channel that the Army Corps of Engineers dredge. And so, yeah, that's you can go that way, but you have to deal with the ocean liners, and then, of course, their wakes and stuff coming up that channel. And then mile marker 0. So the Mississippi technically is 0 miles on the river right here. This is the starting of the river. And then, of course, it branches out into the Bird's Foot, which gives you an additional 13 miles if you go down the South Pass.
Southwest Pass. South Pass. Southeast Pass over there, you can't see.
Okay, that was a total mistake. My boat just wasn't pointing in the right direction. So when I shot this southeast pass, that's not what I intended to shoot. I just kind of shot it quick. Of course, I was excited to be there, but you know, I didn't know that happened on the way down, and so there's obviously no way to reshoot that scene. I couldn't go back, but yeah. So unfortunately, it was just blocked by the dredge lines and the dredge equipment, so you couldn't see it. But
over there you can't see it, but that is mile 0. That's what we've been looking for. We are almost there. Technically this is 0 on the river, so you could end here if you want. We're overachievers. We're going to the Gulf. That was the original goal. South Pass, another 12, 15 miles. Who cares what it is? We're almost there, so we're going. So there it is. That is mile 0. 0 of the Mississippi River. We are going to continue down the South Pass. We're almost there. We're almost done. Who could believe it?
it really is crazy. You paddle for so long, and like you think about this moment, and then you come through there, and it's just like surreal that you're there now.
I remember right, we have 13 miles till the Gulf. 13 miles remaining on a 62-day adventure.
What up, Gabriel? Yeah, I kind of talked about that a little bit when I started streaming. I just I had a couple of busy weeks, and then I honestly just kind of fell out of the habit of streaming. So I wanted to make sure I got on here and did this final video. So, but yeah, welcome.
Across 10 states, beginning in my home state, bordering Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, and ending in Louisiana. After all the creepy nights, the haunted Rubel, the different paddlers I met along the way, the fantastic river angels who made life on the river a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, this is a total, like, legitimate moment. Like, I was actually processing everything that had happened up to this point. You know, it wasn't like I had this scene planned out, or I was going to sit here and ramble on about everything that happened on the river. I mean, this is just what my mind was processing, and I just said it out loud. So much of what I experienced kind of came back to me going down this quiet little channel. I read somewhere somebody had said that when you're going through Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and it's so busy and so dangerous, and then you get into the South Pass, and it's like coming home after a party where it's just quiet and in the middle of the night. It's just there's nothing going on, and that's what the South Pass is kind of like. It's like your own little channel, and after so much busyness, it's just crazy that it's just like that's the way it comes down to the end, and it's an amazing way to finish.
Insanely busy area in between. We wore this hot orange vest through days of paddling.
Good for you, Gabriel.
90+ degrees.
It should be getting pretty nice up there. It's hot here in Minnesota right now.
Mornings that were 95% humidity. Wearing clothes that would never dry. Food that I never cooked. A boat that I could never keep clean.
You want to see the most honest reaction I probably had on the river. A lot of people tell me that they appreciate how I didn't really sugarcoat anything. I showed things for what they really were. When I got to this moment and I thought about home and family, that really hit me hard.
After missing family, my wife, and my home, it all comes down to 13 miles. 13 miles, and I've paddled the entire Mississippi River in as true a fashion as I think you can do it nowadays. I started at Itasca, paddled through the northern headwaters, portaged all the dams on foot. Everywhere I took out, I pretty much put right back in. Went through most of the locks, didn't go through lock 6 I think it was, but I just put in right below it. There's no sense of waiting.
So one thing I learned about South Pass that's kind of interesting is they've stopped dredging the South Pass, and it's starting to actually silt up. And so at some point there's not going to be a usable channel if they let it keep going. Port Eads at the end said that they wouldn't pay to dredge it because I think they wanted like $12 million or $20 million or something to dredge it. And so they all spend their they spend all their focus, dredging the Southwest Pass because that's the commercial traffic, and South Pass is just getting filled up because of it. It's just unfortunate.
Port Eads, it's up there. Ways away yet.
Port Eads has a lighthouse on it, and you could see that lighthouse way out, and it's just like, oh man, it's actually there. You know, I've looked at it on a map so many times. To come up on it was just incredible feeling.
Hey everybody, check it out. It's Port Eads. There it is. We found it. Isn't that incredible? It's actually here. Closed, I think. Even though it says open.
Alright, just to build suspense and not show you the Gulf yet. So I actually stopped over here at the dock and just kind of held on to the dock. I wanted to see if Bubby, my ride back, had actually messaged me or anything, and so I actually sat here for a few minutes. This whole dock has fiddler crabs on it, and that's fun for me because, I mean, you know, there's no crabs running around in Minnesota, so crabby people maybe, but not crabs. And so, yeah, I could have gotten out, and I know a paddler, Ann from 2020, she actually climbed up and got to look on the lighthouse and get a really good shot of the area. It would have been so cool to go up there, take the drone, have the drone do some aerials and stuff from up there, but I just didn't want to get out of the boat. I just really wanted to finish at this point, so it was kind of fun to see the crabs though.
And there's the end. We're almost there.
Yeah, Port Eads I think is 2 miles from the finish. And then this is footage that Bubby took for me, just to get me finishing. Quite the sight. You spend so much time on the river gets big, it gets wide, but you're always in this channel, this narrow water, dirty water, muddy banks and trees, and that's what you're in for so long. And then you get to the Gulf and it's just boom, it just blows up into this huge area. And I've never seen the ocean, and I've never stood on the ocean, so I made the joke many times on the way down that the only way I could get to the ocean, the only way I could afford to get there was to paddle there. And so to see the ocean and know that I paddled to the ocean was a pretty cool accomplishment.
Standing in it. Feeling the...
Just for the record too, when you see me pull out my phone there at the end, all I was doing there was shutting off my tracker so it didn't run hours and stuff without me shutting it down. I didn't want it to keep on tracking me, so I killed it there. I wasn't playing around on my phone. Believe me, I spent plenty of time just sitting there looking out at the ocean. And the real honest truth is I almost wish I would have just camped down there for the day. I don't know nothing about tides or how the tidal fluctuations are. I don't know any of that stuff. That's nothing I've ever dealt with. So I just didn't plan on staying down there. When I was down there, I really wish I would have, because it would have been so cool to just sit out on the Gulf Coast after doing the river and just enjoy a day down there. It would have been awesome.
I hope you enjoyed the trip. I know I did. It had some stressful moments in it, but man, it was amazing. I got got a lot of words for this, none of which I'm going to say on the camera. It's an emotional moment, but it's pretty sweet. I left a lot of things behind to do this trip, and it means a lot to be successful now. And to stand here, look out.
You know, and that comment, that was really, like, I thought a lot about that comment. You know, I left a lot of things behind to do this trip, and it means a lot to be successful now. You know, I mean, so much could have happened on the river. You know, there's so many risks, there's so many dangers. You know, and you wonder, you know, if you were in this situation, what would happen, or what would happen here, and then, you know, so I got those concerns, and then I also had the concerns of, well, what if something happens to my wife or my family while I'm gone, and I can't get back for days, and so it weighed heavily on me, you know, this kind of a thought process, and yeah, to know that I had made it and that I had been successful, it was a huge moment, and it was appreciated much more after the fact than right here on camera.
Over something like this. Yeah, I'm here with Bubby, who came down to get me, but you know, there's no fireworks, there's no cheering. You know, it's pretty much just me here enjoying the moment. But it's okay. So let's just enjoy it together. Ah, what the heck.
Too many days in the dark.
It is pretty crazy that you just accomplished this huge thing, the biggest thing I've ever accomplished, and all you hear is waves coming in, and that's it. I mean, Bubby was there. He's a great guy. I have every intention of going down to visit him again. He's so much fun, but him and his family. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You come out of there, and if nobody came down to see you, that's it. It's just a quiet ending to this huge adventure. Had to throw in fireworks there. My wife actually filmed that 4th of July for me, and so I couldn't help it. Because believe me, they weren't there in person, but they were there inside. It was a big deal, and it really meant a lot to be standing there and knowing that I did it. You know, I made the comment many times that I grew up on the banks of the Lock and Dam 1 on the Mississippi and fishing down there, and I was always told how dangerous the river was, and I carried those fears with me. Like, I understood that risk, and yeah, it was huge to just stand there and think I just paddled the whole thing. And his boat was awesome. It was so fast.
Just like a seed in a garden.
Those kids were awesome. They were so much fun. All the people we stayed with were just amazing.
Land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me up in your branches. We can watch the sunrise. Just a couple of bruised up souls that believe that it was.
I'll tell you something else that was pretty neat too. To be going that fast on the water after going as fast as a kayak can go. It was an amazing feeling. It was so cool to just sit back and make that kind of progress on the river. It was a lot of fun, and man, I really appreciate Bobby being there to help me out.
We are born again. In your heart. Spend less time in your head.
So that's almost Bubby's front yard. How cool is that? Like, how cool would that be to just chill, fish, watch the ocean vessels coming and going? Awesome, awesome place. So one thing that was cool too is, like, on the way back, I mean, it's, you know, 20 miles or whatever it is. It was so awesome to be in a motorboat because I didn't have to worry about where ocean liners were going or other boats were going. I didn't have to worry that I wasn't being seen. His boat was so fast, man. We were zipping in and out of traffic like it was nothing. It was incredible how less stressful it can be. As the sun sets on my last day on the river, Bubby and I make it back to the Venice Marina. I have to. Bubby actually showed me a video of his friend who actually rode out Hurricane Katrina down in these ports and stuff. And man, hearing the stories about the hurricane and the floods and everything that happened, it's just amazing. These people are so capable of enduring such things. It's just incredible how much they went through and how they all came back the way they did.
Falling back despite the pain inside. 'Cause all that I want is for you to be happy. Give me a chance to show that you can be. Well, open your eyes.
I'm so glad the little Dakota drove all the way down there without a problem.
All is for you to be happy with me.
Yeah, that's actually the funny thing too is, everybody knows my wife drove down to pick me up and took her 21 hours. And here I come back and people are like, what'd you do? I told them I did the river and they're like, wow, that's great. And then my wife is like, oh yeah, I drove all the way down to get them 20 hours by myself. And they're like, you drove all the way down there? That's incredible. Nobody cared at all that I just got done paddling the whole river for 62 days. The fact that she drove 20 hours is what was so impressive. So yeah, go figure.
Heal the bruise, the one you want in your heart, standing right in front of you. 'Cause all that I want is for you to be happy. Give me a chance to show that you can be. Well, open your eyes and see the way I see. 'Cause all that I want is for you to be happy with me. I'll show you a life that he can't see. You become
Gabriel, I just thought it was hilarious. It's just like, man, come on.
'Cause all that I want is for you to be.
So if you're watching these videos and you have yet to do the river and you're thinking about doing the river, make sure you go on Facebook and you become members of these groups. These are the best resources I think exist for doing the river. These people are dedicated to helping paddlers make it down the river and succeed in their goals. So Mississippi River Paddlers page, Lower Mississippi River Paddlers, and then the Mississippi River Angels. And introduce yourself if you go on and just explain that you might want to do the river and you're just here for information. They will welcome you in, and man, it's all the information you could ever want. Every question that could be asked has been asked and answered. So great research.
Happy, give me a chance to show that you can be. Well, open your eyes and see the way I see.
Yeah, so I had to put in my thank yous. Like I don't really seek out help very often, and so when people are kind enough to help out, it means a lot to me, and I had to put that in here. And so John here, he runs the Mississippi River Paddler page. Matt Briggs did the river many years ago. We talked a lot. He talked me through some rough days and some rough times. And Sharon was a gal that I met in Iowa. I met her at the dock. She had the little dog, and she's just super nice. Roy is the kid that I met after Baton Rouge, who brought me the bag of water. He was super funny kid. Scotty Karen Dillon, that's in Crothersville. Shane and Tracy, so they were just paddlers that were on the river before me, and they were just taking their sweet time. They ended in Cairo, and then Tracy ended up having some medical problems and she didn't make it. So I don't know if Shane ever did come back and do the river. He wanted to finish it, but unfortunately Tracy, she didn't make it after that summer, and it was unfortunate. It had nothing to do with the river, but it's just unfortunate. She was super kind. Jeff at the Trempealeau Marina, he's the guy that actually allowed me to put my boat in the little boathouse and keep it safe from the storms. The Inn on the River, the owners at Inn on the River, Super kind people. Drove me all over. Chris Saunders did the river in 18. He ended in somewhere in Illinois. God, I can't remember off the top of my head. Quincy, Illinois. He just had a heck of a year. He had about every problem you could have, he had. And I met him in 2018 when I did the Headwaters trip. I met him at the Lake Winnie Dam, and I helped him up it. And he's a former Marine, I think. So, great guy. John Dudek, that's Vicky up in Brainerd. He had just retired from the service. GSI Outdoors, they're the ones that gave me the little bottles to put the water from the Headwaters and the Gulf in. And then the Devil Backbone Campground for allowing me and John to stay during the tropical storm that came up.
'Cause all that I want is for you to be happy with me.
So Hank Vanderklok is the one who, and it says it right here, but he's where I got the idea to paddle the river. Like, I'd never even considered doing anything like this, and I accidentally found his videos. And he's got 4 videos of his entire trip. He took, I think his videos were titled 100 Days in a Kayak, and he's from out of the States, and he did a great series. So if you ever want to look him up, just look up Hank Vanderklok. You can spell it just like that, and you can watch his 4 videos. He did such a good job on his videos, and he was a huge resource for me too. I reached out to him via email, and he answered all the questions I had. So I could spend weeks out there playing in the Gulf, paddling the little islands and everything, fishing. Oh, it would be such a great time. So yeah, that's the final episode of the trip. It's almost like I gotta thank everybody for watching all over again. You know, I appreciate everybody coming out, and I get comments all the time of people who just appreciate the trip, and you know, I mean, I really had no idea how these videos would turn out, and they turned out so good. I was really pleased because I spent so much time filming, and you know, people have asked, you know, about production. Like, I produce all the videos on Adobe Premiere Pro. I didn't have anybody do them for me. I did them all myself. That's why they get better as I go, because I was learning as I went. So you know, it came together really well, and I probably am my biggest fan. Of course, I watch my videos all the time, and yeah, it's a really cool thing to be able to go back and relive the trip like this. I think there's only a couple of people who have this level of footage that they've kept and made public, and so to be able to go back and watch the entire trip in this much detail really is an awesome thing for me. So let's see, where are we at on time here? Let's see, my 38 minutes. All right, well, I think we could probably wrap up the stream for tonight. I mean, this is the final episode. If people would like me to do commentary on the portage videos I've done, I think there's 12 of those or so, I'd be more than happy to do that. I don't mind. I just wanted to make sure that I got the episode 24 here done before I went out on my 2021 adventures. I have one coming up, and then also I have a really big one coming up, which will be a surprise. And I think that if it all works out and we can actually make it happen, it's going to be a really cool addition to the channel. So hopefully it works out the way I hope it does. So having said that, okay, Gabriel, I'll give it to you. So having said that, I appreciate y'all, and look forward to seeing you in the comment sections and getting some more footage out, and hopefully I can edit it and make it even halfway good as any of these videos. So yeah, we'll see if I jump back on and stream some more here before I go out on any more trips. But aside from that, y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Take care, and of course we'll see you on the next one. Gabriel, my biggest fan, take care, my friend. Dan, can you tell us a little about your future plans and what might be next for your Mississippi River series? Yes, absolutely. The surprise has to do with the Mississippi River. I'm not going to make it public yet, just in case it doesn't happen. I don't really have any other videos I was going to make for the river. I feel like I've really kind of used the footage to its full extent. I mean, obviously, if you have questions, you know you can always ask me. But there's videos of the how-to videos. What'd you carry down the river? How do you go through the locks? How did I keep everything charged? And then how many miles did I do every single day? So I made 4 more videos of the trip after this series ended. Some of the other rivers I'll be doing. I'm going to do some in Wisconsin, and then the big surprise river. Dan, I think you know what it is, but that's because you're on the paddlers page and you know probably who I'm going with. But if not, message me and I'll tell you. But aside from that, I don't got much else. So I hope you all have a great weekend. And if I don't get on here and stream, a great summer. Make sure you get out there and enjoy. Get on those clean waters. Gabriel, you live in Canada, I know, so everything should be clean up there. But you guys all take care. It was a pleasure hanging out with you tonight, and we'll see you on the next one.